Hey everyone, welcome to another stream. Back to the South Wales coastal route today. I'm going to be doing another scenario from the free scenarios that I got. They're also available now on UKTS. I think they should be right at the top of the list on UKTS. So if you want to download them from there, if not, you can download them from Goldsmith Scenarios. You can get the link in chat. I'm just going to post it in a second. If you're interested, if you want to give the scenarios a try, you can get them from there. Right, so anyway, let's get into the game so you can at least see what I'm doing. Right, so let's have a look. South Wales coastal, Bristol to Swansea. Right, so the scenario is for a Class 56. This is the Class 56, which is also got the Class 56 enhancement pack from AP on it. It's a requirement for the scenario itself. It is in Kohler's livery. It's a 2-hour long scenario, so it's quite a long one, this one. But it should keep us going. This is part one. There's actually many parts to this scenario. But if you want to play part 2, etc., then you have to pay for the pack of 20 other scenarios. So as I said, it's a bit of a teaser scenario. It's like you'll play this scenario and you'll go, oh yes, I want to play part 2. Although the pack is a reasonable, I think, $5.99 for 20 scenarios, and they're not just 20 scenarios that someone's knocked out. You know, there's a lot of scripting involved in the scenarios, and there's lots of other things that have been placed around inside the scenarios. So they're not just where someone's just done a scenario and then just trying to charge them. There has been a little bit of time and work to go into these, from what I've seen also from his other scenario packs he's done. So they're quite good scenarios. But that's just my own opinion, and as I said, you know, you can download 4 scenarios which are from this pack as free, so you can check them out yourself. And if you think that they're worth paying $5.99 for another 20 scenarios, then well, that's up to you. So anyway, this is the 6 Victor 54, the 535 Chirk Chrono Span Kohler's Rail to Baglam Bay, part 1. Currently being held at Newport, you have a slow 60-mile-an-hour slog with Kohler's Class 56. Empty log train bound for Baglam Bay, where a few shunting tasks will need to take place. So a few shunting tasks. Well, we'll see how we get on with them, won't we? Anyway, I hope everyone's good this morning. I hope everyone is good. This scenario might take a little bit of time to load up. I'm just going to check my volume for Train Sim as well, because I don't want it too loud. Let's see. No, I think that's fine. Right. Now I have to just keep checking, because sometimes I play Train Sim off stream and then I put the volume right back up to 100, but when I'm streaming I have to lower the sound volume of the gain quite low, because otherwise it conflicts with my voice. And then you can't hear really me talking and the train sounds at the same time. So, same with Flight Sim. And sometimes I forget, which is why sometimes I do a stream and people are like, we can't hear you, CK. The engine of the plane's too loud. I'm like, yeah, okay. Anyway, another month, 1st of December. Oof, the year has been definitely whizzing around quite quickly. Right, and here we go. Let's add a little bit more clag, I think. Right, so welcome. When you gain the signal, continue to Britain Ferry sidings, Baglin Bay, branch down through siding where you will gain further instructions and you'll be required to run around your train before heading to Baglin Bay. As you are limited to 60, you may be required to allow faster services to pass. Okay, so let's get the reverser in. Turn the gas ovens on. Always reminds me of a gas oven or something, this does. Right. Headlights. Where's the switch for that? CK. Where's the headlight switch? I think that might be it. Let's see. No, that's the wrong one. I don't want to do that one. It might have already been set up, actually. Anyway, so we're just waiting here. This is the train. The 56, and we got a 66 about to come through Newport with some containers. Right, so we're just waiting for the light. So yeah, I mean the unbranded new version will have things like the signs will just have these little bits of text taken away with a Arriva written on it. Things like that, and also these trains won't have Arriva written on them. They just have the they're just unbranded. Alright, so 175 there, that's going to Manchester Piccadilly. Let's see if the light has changed for me just yet. This is what we're carrying, these empty login wagons. Got all the smoke spewing out the top of this already. Oh, let's get back in the cab. Answer the phone. Right, you may now use tab to pass signal NT1067. Okay, right then, there we go. Signal in front of me. Let's get going. Let's add a bit of power. Oh, did I not tab past the signal? CK, you noob. Wow, I forgot to tab past the signal, didn't I? Oh, hang on a minute, I have to reverse. Well, that was a good start. Oh dear. I went without, hello Train Simulator Man, how are you? Well, oh wow, that was a bit of mean acceleration there. Hope you're well. I'm starting as I always do, with a bit of a fail. Let's see what happens. Now we got a green anyway, so that's good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm not bad. Although I don't know why I'm going backwards, but oh dear. Right, and let's start again, shall we? Yeah, I'm alright. I'm just doing my usual. Come on, train. I just hope we don't get hit by something else now. Alright, let's just got to check my back end now. Oh, we got the banana train waiting. Right, off we go at last. Just taking this Class 56 for a drive. Well, trying to. You've just made your own heritage railway, have you? What, in Train Sim? Ah, cool. How long did it take you? Have you got any hair left? Because I always think route building always wants to make you tear your hair out. 8 days? Wow. Well, that's cool though. I've never tried route building in the game. As I said, I just think of it as very frustrating. But like scenario building, I don't tend to make scenarios either. You know, I don't want to go bald just yet. Right. Anyway, let's just head along. How long is it? How long is the railway? Oh, that's cool. I know Captain Jenks, one of my viewers, has been building a route on Train Simmer, but it's taken him about 3 years so far, and he's still not finished it yet. But he works on it in bits and pieces. And that's a fictional line based in, I think it's Wales. The Jenkshire branch, it's called. You don't know how long that's a dock. Ah, okay. What is it? What sort of area is it set in? You know, is it a fictional route, or is it set in? Is it set in a part of the country? I mean, with a dock, it sounds a bit like it might be sort of like southwest or something. You know, like Cornwall or Devon or something, but that could just be wrong idea anyway. Right, it's just coming past the yard. A lot over there. A lot of 66s parked over here. Some freights. Lots of different wagons. Another 66 there. A man standing next to it, ready to either take it out for drive. It's based in the northwest. Oh, okay. Is it based in steam engineer as well? Yeah, Cumbria area. Oh, okay. So it's sort of a little bit around like that area that I think it's Tom Harrison's doing at the moment, because he's doing the Cumbrian line at the moment as well, I think, but obviously set in modern day. Right, let's get up to 60, as that's our max speed. So yeah, this is one of the Golden Goldsmith scenarios that you can get. If you go to his site, you can pick this pack up for free. It's a sample of 4 scenarios. If you want to buy the rest of the pack, which is 20 scenarios, then I think that's like $5.99 for that. But it's $5.99. You get 20 scenarios, and then you get the 4 other scenarios. So those 4 scenarios you get for free aren't included in the 20, so you get a total of 24 scenarios for $5.99. Now I've got some of his other packs as well. He does pack for like the Riviera line and that, and there's some really nice scenarios in those packs. So you can try the scenarios out, and then if you like them, then you can obviously get the rest. You will need South Wales Coastal though. The Bristol to Swansea. It doesn't work with the new route that's just come out, which is the unbranded version of this route. So if you've got that route, then you might have to just wait until maybe they'll update the scenario pack to work with that route as well. But it uses a lot of AP stuff in the scenarios, although the requirements are listed on the page of what you need. So there is basically a load of things that you'll need to run these scenarios properly. As always. Oh, I can remove that now because it's now the beginning of the month. Captain Jenks did get up and running, but I was just trying to help him out in the meantime in the background. I'll just have to remind myself to remove that later. Yeah, I'm going to put the link down in chat, although the link won't work properly because there's not a space. But if you want to check out the other scenarios they do, you can use that link and just cut and paste the web link from the end of it. Or if you're on UKTS, you can go to UKTS, and it's also listed as one of their newest files on UKTS, so you can download the pack from there. Although you will need to go and download the other stuff that you will need as pack as well, because it has like an extra stock pack type thing, a bit like AP does, where you have to download, if you want additional reskins and things, you have to download a different file as well. There's the Network Rail HST on its way, doing a bit of track testing. There's a 158 in GWR livery. Right, we'll speed up a little bit. Where's Thomas? No idea. We're just on the straight at Russia at the moment. We're just heading down the straight. There's the start finishing line coming up. Oh, hang on, wrong game. Sorry. We're just taking this bit of a fumigator out in the scrapyard. Change down to gear 1, clip the apex. Yeah, I certainly did clip the apex. Oh dear, broke my wing. Right, go via signal SCF 1647. So anyway, those who have just joined, we're on the South Wales main line. We're doing a scenario that goes from just outside Newport. Actually, no, we started at Newport near Cardiff, and we're now heading west towards Cardiff, and then on past Cardiff towards Port Talbot. There's the pit lane on the left. You can see where the pits are. There's one of the marshals there. Here's the pit lane. There. Right, anyway. Better start slowing down towards 40. That's the mouse. The mouse needs some cheese, so that's when it screams. I have to give him some cheese. Right, let's get down to 40. Right, so we're 4 miles from Cardiff now. But we're not really going to be stopping. Although we might stop briefly at the station just to wait for other trains, but I don't know. I hate this part of the track, it's just so slow. The 40 limit the whole way. But all the passenger trains are on the tracks on the right side. All the freight just tends to go down this one. Hence why the speed limit's slow. Here comes a Pacer, I think. No, it's a Class 150 as it got nearer. 150. Do you have any steamers? A few, but I don't really like to drive them. I'm not really a steam engine fan driving them in train sim, unfortunately. I'm more sort of diesel and stuff. I have driven a few steam engines, but I don't seem to do very well at them. But there are a few other streamers out there that like to drive steam engines. Captain Jenks, for example, loves to drive steam engines. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of them. I like steam engines in real life though, but I just don't really like. I just can't really drive them very well in train sims, so I don't tend to drive them. I have got a few though, mainly because sometimes I've bought routes or really cheap DLC that's got them. Or sometimes, there've been a requirement for some scenarios or something. There might have been some scenario packs that had like a requirement of a steam engine or something. So then if it's really cheap in a sale, I tend to just pick the steam engines up then. Exactly. But you can say that for a lot of train sim streamers. I mean, some like steam engines, some don't. Some drive them, some don't. It's just the way it is. Do you AT any? It's alright. I got a feeling you probably got another window open somewhere and you've typed that in another window. Well, you thought you did. I've done that myself, so don't worry about it. I've done that sometimes where I've had like maybe 2 or 3 streams up and running at the same time. Typed in one chat window and realised I put it in the wrong one. In fact, if you want to watch someone streaming, there is someone streaming train sim at the moment. I think that might be driving a steam engine. I think he's so if you want to watch someone do a stream engine, you can pop over and watch them, and then when you do, go into chat and just say hi, CK sent me, because I like steam engines. And do you have at least a Mallard? Oh yeah, I have the Mallard, because I mean that's obviously been on sale at some point, so yeah, I probably got that. Doesn't mean I've necessarily driven it though. It's a bit like having a train set and you just get all the things given to you or whatever, or you might just have some trains that you got really cheap. You don't necessarily wear them, you don't necessarily, actually let's just rephrase that. Instead of wearing them, I mean, what I mean is a bit like when a clothes shop has a sale on and you go, oh yes, these t-shirts look nice, and you just pick them up because they're like 50p each, and then they just sit in the wardrobe and never get worn. It's sort of like that. Wow. Do you have... It's because of you spam with all them smileys. Probably because you spam the chat with all those smileys, and my bot didn't like it very much because my bot will see that as spamming. So that's probably why you got timed out. It was my bot doing that. So apologies, but yeah, maybe not so many smileys all at the same time in future. Right, anyway, we're just about to come into Cardiff. But do I have Stainmore route? No, I don't have Stainmore. I've not got round to getting it yet, and as it's mainly a steam engine sort of based route with lots of steam engine requirements, then probably not. Probably won't get it, but if there's ever a route that comes out, like a freeware route that basically requires it, then probably will. A lot of the routes that I get are just routes where there might be some freeware routes that come out, and they say, well, you need these routes to run the freeware route properly. So sometimes you just end up in a sale getting lots of routes just because you want to play the freeware one. Right, we're just coming into Cardiff. Got a cross-country service leaving on the right. So I don't know if we got a stop here or not, we'll see. I think we had a double yellow though, so we're probably not going to be stopping at the station. Right, there's a 175 and a pacer as well. Very loud pacer. Do you like pacers? Yeah. I don't mind them either. But then again, I didn't have to commute on one every day, so I probably... my opinion of them is probably a little bit different. I've only been on a pacer once, so... but I did enjoy it when I went on it. But then that was because I was kind of expecting something that was going to be a bit bumpy and a bit like going on a bus, and it was kind of like that. So that's kind of why I enjoyed it, because my expectations of what it was going to be like were met. I wasn't disappointed. You know, someone said, oh yeah, pacers are terrible, and then you got on it and then you had like some waiter come up to you and give you a 5-star dinner, then I'd be like, I was told that pacers were like bouncy and terrible, and I had champagne and caviar, and it wasn't exactly like how I was told it was going to be like. So yeah, I've been on a pacer also in Cornwall, but then that was like one, you know, but obviously I'm like, and another one of my viewers, he says that the only, you know, the 142s are really the only proper pacers, and the 143s aren't really proper pacers. But, you know, so I've been on a 142 when I went from Cardiff to Newcastle on one. And as I said, it was quite good. You know, I quite liked it. But as I said, if I had to go to work every day on one, and you're standing like a sardine and stuff, then I probably would hate them. But as I said, I think Pacers are a bit like Marmite. You either love them or you hate them. There's a Class 60 over there. You've been in a couple up in Lancaster or Lancashire. Okay, wherever you meant when you type that. But I'm just going to fill in. Yeah, well, I live in the south, so where I live, we don't have Pacers. Where I live, we tend to have Class 377s and 313s down where I live, so and the occasional 158 also that goes to Brighton, but sadness, I suppose. It depends how you want to look at it, really. Talking about which, is another Pacer with a 150. There's a 67 with a Mark III coach. You love the 158s, they always come through your town. Yeah, I used to commute to Brighton. And one of the trains I got in the morning used to come from Westbury. That's where it used to start. And it used to go down to Brighton. And at the time, it was going back to when it was regional railways. Now, originally, it used to be operated by a Class 150 or 156. And then one day, one morning, looked in the distance and I thought, hang on a minute, this train looks different. And as it come closer, I realised it was a completely different train, and it was a 158. And this is going back to when the 158s first started to run for regional railways. And I remember going in it, and it was like, you know, so new and modern looking compared to like the 150. So that used to be like one of my regular trains in the morning to Brighton, was a 158 that had come from Westbury. So you could sit at a table with your mates and you could get your coffee out and everything. Alright, let's get back up to 60. There's a lady that streams on YouTube up your way as well. I've sometimes seen some live streams that she does in the evenings, where she does a live stream, sort of around sort of like Crewe, Lancaster area, Preston. She's been doing some streams recently where she waits at Crewe for the night sleeper to come through, I think. Or is it Preston she's waiting? I can't remember. Maybe it's Preston she's waiting. Maybe she's waiting at Preston. But anyway, she does a live stream and chats in the background. Right, anyway, let's get up to 60. I think her YouTube name was Southern Rail Lady or something, or Southern Rail Girl or something. Or Southern, yeah, something like that. I'll have to think of her name again. Right, getting up to 60. We got to head to Miskin Down Goods Loop where we got to stop there, so I'm guessing we got to sit and wait for some other trains to come past. It's a good time. It's a good that this scenario doesn't seem to have many timed places as well, because then again, time places can be useful as well, because then you also know if you're running early or late. You're just doing some shunting now. Yeah, I'll be doing some later on, I guess, in this scenario at some point. This is quite a long scenario, this one. It was 2 hours, so I don't know how long I've been driving now. In fact, if I do uptime, that'll tell me. Do I like the Class 08? Yeah, it's alright. I mean, I'm not really a fan of shunting scenarios, but Class 08's alright, yeah. I mean, it does its job, so it does its job alright. I don't think it'd be very comfortable to go on as a passenger, you know, because there's only just enough space for a few people to stand in one place, but and you don't get complimentary drinks or food on it, so yeah, I don't think, you know, but it has its job, which is a shunter. It does quite a good job. I mean, they've been around forever, so they obviously do their job very well, because they've never been really replaced by anything else. And they obviously are built to last. So there's not really a lot that you can't really like about them from that perspective. Although I'm sure as electric engine technology or electric motor technology gets better and better, I'm sure it'll come to a point where they'll probably start having shunters in the UK that are just electric completely and have the power to pull without spewing diesel everywhere. So until that day comes, who knows? Right then, we've got to slow down to 15. But yeah, Class 08s, I think that was one of the first things I ever had in a train set when I was a kid. You know, apart from whatever you used to get with a train set. I remember having the shunter as well. Although I can't remember if it was an 08 or an 09, because they look very similar. So, but I think it was an 08. It was in BI. It was in the green livery. And I think it was a Lima one. Lima did it. There's people that did stuff for which I think got bought out by somebody. I haven't really been following railway modelling and stuff, but I think Lima got bought out by someone. There's one at my local Everton radio. It's not too bad as you'd think when pulling coaches. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, to be honest, you know, at a heritage line, it could probably quite happily pull the coaches at line speed anyway. So if they didn't have anything else to use, they probably could quite happily use a. I mean, I used to see shunters at Brighton Station, you know, go in because the cross country trains from Manchester and that would come into Brighton, you know, class 47 with some Mark IIs and stuff, and then the shunter would then take them out afterwards. So it was quite happy doing its thing. I think a lot of heritage railways, I think, have got class 08s, haven't they? I mean, I know, you know, yeah, I think they all use them because why not? I mean, I know, like, for example, I think it's at the Swanage and the Bluebell, they've got 08s, I think. I've seen them. Or they might be at the Bluebell, they might have an 09, but anyway, but, you know, there's quite a lot. I mean, I think a lot of them use them, don't they? You know, to move coaches about. Because the fact is, you know, it's diesel, you can literally just turn it on and get it running. With a steam loco, you have to spend quite a lot of time getting it all ready and prepared just to do some shunting. So it's, I guess it's like, you know, time savings and everything. And also, you know, if you've got using a steam engine at a heritage line to do shunting, unless you're doing it to demonstrate shunting specifically, but if it's just for general, like pre getting ready for the day stuff and in the evening stuff, then, you know, why waste coal, which, you know, is a pain to get hold of, when you can just go to a, you know, where you can still get diesel everywhere, diesel fuel or whatever, and use a diesel shunter. Right, anyway, we're just coming up to our point of holding up. So we got to wait here for a while. Now, I don't know how long we got to wait, but we'll see. Hopefully not too long. Just got to wait to let some other trains come through. And there we go, there's one coming through. Probably got held up behind us. It's obviously probably going to Swansea. Don't know what that truck just did then. Right, let's just stop here. Alright. Right, let's put it into. Let's get the reverser sorted out. I think that's the only train that we might have to wait for. I can't remember. Might have to wait a little bit longer. Looks like truck convoys going on up here. Oh, we've got another train coming, another freight train. Is that oil tankers, maybe? Could be an oil tanker. Looks like a 60. The 60 is the Just Trains Class 60. Right, we've obviously got a yellow, so there's obviously another train coming along we got to wait for. These are the tea wagons, but not carrying tea. God, this is quite a long one. It's quite a long train, that one. Well, for the UK, obviously. For other countries, maybe not so long, but this would be quite a short train if this was in the United States, for example. Oh, what did you write now? Did you hear T? Oh dear. Now you're typing in caps. Yes, I heard T. These are T wagons with some TDAs. These ones are T wagons. Some TDAs. Right, so we're just waiting for another train to come through, which will be here soon. And then once that comes through, we should be able to go. Oh, here it comes now. Doesn't look like a very long train. Like it was just a couple of coaches maybe. So it might be a sprinter. Oh, no, I can hear it now. Looks like a 67. Oh, it's that 67 with the Mark III that we passed at Cardiff in the siding. That's what it is. That's obviously taking it down to Swansea, down to the depot, I guess. So I'm guessing, yeah. So that was the 67 that was at the sidings at Cardiff, at Canton, I think it was. So we just got to wait for it to get a green, and then I think we'll be on our way again. And then we're going to head off towards Port Talbot down Relief, which is 23 miles away. So that's going to take us a little while to get there. "52 minutes. Okay, so I've been playing this scenario probably for about 48 minutes. So we still got quite a way to go yet, because it says it's a 2-hour scenario, so we're not even halfway yet. Although that's if everything's done on time and properly, and I already feel that I'm probably behind on some things. But right, we got our yellow, so we can now go. I'll just stand here and watch it pull out. Well, I've got a 15 limit anyway, so... Looks like that fuel tank has just stopped up there as well. That must be in a passing loop as well, maybe. This is quite nice. Oh, speeding already. That's terrible. You're going to go do a mallard scenario? Why not? Why not? Right, should be able to go up to 60 shortly. And as we can only do 60, it's going to take us over 20 minutes to get to Port Talbot down Maleaf. I don't want to accelerate too sharp either. That's what the tanker train's waiting for. The HST to go through. All the smoke spewing out. With the AP 56 enhancement pack, you can change the level of clag that you want this train to do. You can increase or decrease it, so either on the highest setting. But if you want less fumes, you can adjust it. But most people just tend to turn it up to full anyway. Because most of the time, when you ever see a 56, they always seem to be, yeah, very smoky. Right, accelerating back up to 60 now. Well, whatever you do, as long as you're happy, that's the main thing. Right, up to 60 now, so we can start reducing power. 60 is our limit for this train, so we can't go any faster than that. As we head towards Port Talbot. What's that window look like there down? The only thing about the 56 is you can't adjust the windows. I think this originally was a an IHH model, and then Dovetail bought a few of the models off them, Iron Horse House, and so they started to do their own DLC with the IHH models, but obviously everything else, messed about with inside. So this might be an IHH model originally. And then AP did an enhancement pack for it, but because they can't touch the model, they couldn't put any opening or closing windows in it. Right, we've got a yellow. Double yellow, okay. So there's obviously that train ahead of us is stopping and starting. It also could be because I think on some sections of this track there's a lot of distance between signals. So that might be why we're getting more yellow. So it is probably still quite far ahead of us, but because there's not many signals between us and it. Right, so we've got quite a while to the next signal now. Right, we're going downhill a little bit, so I'll start accelerating towards 60 again. So once again, this scenario is from the new Golden Goldsmith scenario pack for South Wales Coastal, the Swansea to Bristol route. You can get the pack here. The link won't work if you try and click on it because there's no space in between the words there. So if you do want to check out the link, you have to just highlight the text with your mouse and then copy and paste it into your browser. Or you can search on Google for Golden Goldsmith scenarios, and then hopefully it will take you to the homepage for them anyway. If you are on UKTS as well, you can also download from UKTS. Also, if you're not a subscriber on UKTS, you can download it, but with UKTS, if you're not a subscriber, you will have to wait in a queue to be able to download it. I would probably be best just to download it from the main website for them directly, due to the fact that it'll be a lot quicker. Also, just go through the list, read the requirements, because there's a lot of requirements you will need for these scenarios to work properly. Although that's the requirements for the whole 24 scenarios, not just for the 4. So there might be some scenarios you might be able to run even if you don't have everything. It just depends on what you've got, basically. Right, 14 miles before we get to Port Talbot. Then we'll have to do a little bit of shunting, kind of. Well, actually, not really much shunting, more a lot of moving around inside some sidings, I think. I think the way it works is we uncouple this train and then we have to manoeuvre ourselves around to the other end of the train and then couple up to the back and then take it somewhere else. I think that's how it works. Feed the mouse. Right, big station we're just about to go through. Don't know which station this is. I might just have to pop out the window and just see. Bridgend, okay, that's where we are. Bridgend. $11 miles before we get to Port Talbot. Right, just 52 minutes to go. Well, not exactly though, because I didn't start the scenario straight away. I started this stream, it was quite a few minutes after I started the stream. And that's based on me doing everything on time, and I already messed up the beginning, so I'm probably a few minutes behind, so it could be longer than 2 hours. It's a 2-hour scenario, or it's supposed to be if you do everything on properly and on time. But that's from when the scenario starts, not from when the stream starts. I mean, I could have started the stream half an hour before the scenario. So anyway, we're just heading towards the down relief area. Exactly, that's what it means. It could be 2 million hours. It just depends. Hopefully it won't be as long as that. You know, because, yeah. I want to do other things today. So, and for the next few years ahead. But it just gives you an idea, you know. It just gives you an idea before you play the scenario. This is a 2-hour long scenario, so you know that it's going to be about 2 hours. At least 2 hours. There's another freight train waiting here. In the loop. Obviously waiting for another train to come past. You're heading to Truro with some milk. Oh yeah. I didn't know you were a milkman. Bit late though. You shouldn't really be delivering milk at 12 o'clock. People want their milk when they get up in the mornings. Anyway. What route's that on? Is that Falmouth branch? Or whatever it's called. Yeah, Falmouth branch. Yeah, well I thought because you're probably going to be doing it with a steam train because they have a lot of milk tanker scenario type things, don't they? And Truro, and I'm like thinking of any routes that went through Truro that was sort of set in steam era, and that was the first one that come to me head. Yeah, the little branch line. Okay, 6 miles to go. We're getting there slowly. The treble, 99p. I remember when this route first came out, a lot of people didn't like the fact that there was a lot of rubbish on the track, and some people liked it, some people didn't. Some people said, well, it's quite realistic to have rubbish on the track, because that's like how it is some places. And other people didn't like it. But I kind of liked it in the fact, well, at least that's another asset that people can use, so if they want to put litter on next to a track, they can now, because they can get those assets for a route. See, what I like is every time a new route comes out, there's always some new asset somewhere that can be used in other routes. So people that do route building, they can go, yay, you know, especially if they're doing, you know, a route which has got lots of assets taken from lots of other routes. Then they've got more choice to put lots more different things in. The only downside to having lots of different route assets, though, is that you'll then get routes where a lot of people that are new to train sim, they'll basically be like, yeah, it's a bit daunting because you then have to spend a lot of money to get lots of different routes just to make a route show up properly. But it's a bit like, I forgot to ask, is this Train Simulator 2020? It doesn't make any difference because it's just that in Twitch they haven't updated the game list. Well, they hadn't when I last checked, so that 2021 was included in the game list, so you always have to put 2021 in. But the game gets updated every year anyway, as you know. The base game gets updated every year, so it's just that Twitch doesn't have the game Well, it didn't have when as I said, I checked a few weeks ago. So it doesn't have 2021. It might do now though, but the game automatically updates, so you know, unless you have your Steam set so that it doesn't update, in which case it'll still say 2020, but this is 2021. Because the game gets updated every year, they bundle some more routes, they change the menu screen, sometimes they might fix some bugs or add a couple of more features and stuff. Although, to be honest, it's not really more features, it's just more normally like a change to the menu or whatever. As I said, it's just where Twitch, when you choose the game title to stream and you go through the list, it doesn't have 2021 listed yet. But like I said, that was when I checked a few weeks ago, so they might have put 2021 in now, but I haven't checked since. But whenever I look, it always doesn't list it, so I have to put 2020 in because it's the nearest to it. Coming past another yard, lots of locos in there. Let's have a look at them actually while we're on the way over. So yeah, just lots of 66s. There's some large toilet rolls. I mean, they're obviously to do with steel, but they just make me think of toilet rolls. And there's obviously a Euro truck convoy going on there. There's even more over here. So yeah, as we're coming towards the steel place. Right, better start slowing down because we're going to be coming in towards my stop point soon. As we come past the steel works at Port Talbot. Got a bit worried then when I saw that red signal. I was like, wow, I'm not going to stop there. I saw that green and then with a red straight ahead after it. You're going to stream yourself in a moment, okay. Right, so okay, so we got to start slowing down, although we're still 1.93 miles away. Right, we've got a yellow coming up. And then we got our stop point, and then we'll probably have to go into some siding somewhere by setting some points. And I've just got to make sure I go into the right siding, because I do have a habit of sometimes going into the wrong one. Or forgetting that I have to set the points, and then I just go into the sidings and then wonder why I'm not at the place I'm supposed to be. But anyway. Oh, we've got a double yellow now. Double yellow. I think we're just about to go through near Port Talbot station now. Looks like we're coming up to the town anyway. So I'm guessing the main railway station isn't far away now. I've got to start slowing down to 20. Okay, so we just got to go through here quite slowly. Then we got to stop at a stop point. Yeah, there's the station ahead. So like I said, so we're just coming through near to Port Talbot, the town now. It's another freight train over in the distance, I think, coming towards us. I mean, this might just be another stop point, so we might still have a way to go yet. There's a lot of 66s on this scenario. Okay, start slowing down for this signal. Okay, let's wait here for a bit. What's this 175 coming? And there's another one on the other side. He obviously got stuck behind us. Where's he going to? Carmarthen. And where's he going to? Cardiff. Okay. The door's not going to open on this one then. I thought I heard the doors, or maybe it was the doors on this one. Okay. Let's just go through and wind everyone up. Tickets, please. Just kidding. Next carriage. Tickets, rail cards and passes, please. To see how many worried faces there are. Just kidding, love. Don't worry, I'm just joking. This isn't my train, by the way. How do you start streaming? How did I start? I went on Twitch one day. Did a search for people streaming Train Simulator. There wasn't very many people. I watched one guy streaming and I quite liked the fact that he was streaming, but one thing I noticed from streaming that a lot of people were streaming a lot of official DLC like you buy from Steam and not so much third party stuff or freeware. So I started to stream myself just to show people that there are other stuff outside on Train Sim that wasn't just things that you get from that you got from Steam. You know, so stuff from AP and stuff from Just Trains and stuff from other UKTS freeware routes and stuff. And then over time, more people have started to stream, and a lot more people that stream now stream a lot of third-party stuff. Or people that make content now do their own streams. I mean, Just Trains have their own stream now, and when someone that does route building, they might do more streams showing off their route and stuff. So, oh, you mean how? Oh, I see. Well, the reason I asked a question like for that was because I just thought it was a very obvious question, and I just thought maybe you just typed a typo when you wrote it. As a couple of times in stream you have written things and where you've obviously written things in a different way to how they were spelt. So I thought, well, it must mean that you were probably asking how I started streaming rather than how do you stream, because if you just said 10 minutes earlier that you were about to do a stream, then I would think in my head that you knew how to stream, because obviously you wouldn't say I'm going to stream in 15 minutes if you kind of then you wouldn't really ask me how do you stream if you would then asked 15 minutes, what you said 15 minutes earlier. It's a bit like if someone wrote in chat, I'm just going to drive my car down to the shops, and then 10 minutes later then wrote, how do I drive a car? It's, that's why I thought it was obviously you were writing something different. You know how to do it on Xbox. Yeah, you have to, like Fab says, you have to, best thing to do is just have a look on YouTube though for some guides. Right, anyway, we're heading to Baglam Bay branch. And I know Nico, by the way, hope you're well. Yeah, or it's a bit like if someone wrote in chat, I'm just going to go and cook some dinner in a minute, and then 10 minutes later then said in chat, how do I cook dinner? Because then I would just think, oh, you've obviously not, just seems a bit weird, but anyway. Right, so that's why I thought it was just a typo, and you were obviously typing on your phone or something, and you meant to say, how did I start streaming rather than how do I stream? Because as you'd said, a few lines earlier that you were about to stream in 15 very shortly or whatever, I thought, well, you obviously must know how to stream, otherwise you wouldn't ask that, would you? Anyway, let's head off to the next place. So yeah, I mean, you can stream, or if you don't, I mean, obviously you need to have a Twitch account or whatever as well. So if you've got a Twitch account or whatever account, then you're good to go, because obviously OBS is just one way of streaming, although you can actually, if you want to, you can also stream through your graphics card software, because like, for example, my graphics card allows you to do streaming from the graphics card to Twitch or whatever, but most people use OBS or somewhere like that, or there are other ones as well. Thank you, Nico. Right then, so we're now going to head to the next point, which is Baglam Bay branch down through. Yeah. I mean, some people use other ones. I mean, there's Xtreme as well that people sometimes use, but sometimes you find that you can buy things and you get Xtreme bundled with it. I think if you buy like a Logitech webcam, which is like a pro version for streaming, you can kind of get like a 6 month of is it X Live or whatever it's called, which is like a payware version of OBS. There are games I love but find streaming difficult. Yeah. XSplit, that's it. That's the one, Fab. Yeah, I was just trying. I remember it had X in there. I know. I think Tepic uses it. But yeah, I mean, you can get like some software, but obviously OBS is free, whereas XSplit you got to pay for. So, although sometimes you get things that have got XSplit bundled with it for a certain amount of time as well. So but most people use OBS of some sort, either, you know, Streamlabs OBS or OBS on its own or whatever. Right then, let's get to the branch but down line, where I've got to do a bit of manoeuvring. So this is a scenario, those that have just joined, this is a scenario from the green golden goldsmith scenarios. They do pay-aware scenario packs, but they've just brought out a new pack for this route, and they've got 20 scenarios in the pack, plus you get 4 free scenarios to try, so you get a total of 24 scenarios in total. The 4 free scenarios you can download separately. You can either get them from UKTS or get them from here, from his website, which is Golden Goldsmith Scenarios. And you get 4 scenarios you can try out. One of them is one of these, this scenario here with a class 56. And he also does scenario packs, for example, for like the Riviera line. The Riviera line pack I've played, and I played a few scenarios from. It's quite a nice pack, especially the one, you got a nice scenario on that one, which I'll probably stream at some point with the Riviera line with of an air show in the town, which is quite a good scenario. And also done a scenario pack, I think, for the Southampton to Bournemouth line as well. Hey, Just a Hillbilly. We're on the London to Brighton line at the moment. No, just joking. We're on the Bristol to Swansea line. We just left Port Talbot, so we're heading along the line. We're just coming to a place where we have to stop shortly, and then I have to do some manoeuvring, which will probably go wrong. How are you, Just a Hillbilly? Oh, I just yawned then, that's terrible. I wasn't yawning because you're in chat, by the way. I think I just need some more caffeine in me, that's what it probably is. Right, we're just coming into this siding where we have to stop. Although I think this is just the entrance, so we might just stop here and then we have to manoeuvre into a spot probably. And then I've got a feeling I have to then detach this loco and then run around my train to the other end, and then I have to go to the other end and then take it somewhere else. So you just logged into your account on my PC and now there's 2 of me. I don't really know what you mean by that, but... Right then, anyway, I think we have to stop here by this fella that's waiting here. Hello Craig, how you doing? So because I'm on my iPad and PC, oh I see. Well, I think that's how it works. If you're in Twitch chat on one platform and you open up Twitch chat on another platform, then you'll be on the same chat. What you mean is, now it's different if you've got different names, obviously. I'm doing good. Want to get back at a bathroom invading mouse that gave me quite the adrenaline rush. Did you? I've had a mouse on the train. It beeps. It squeals at me every now and again. I have to give it a bit of cheese. Although someone told me it might be the AWS going off, but it sounds a bit like a mouse. I'm alright then. I'm alright, Craig. Not bad. Not bad, not bad. Could be better. Could be worse. Could be whatever. Ah, hello driver. Before we can have the empty log train taken onto the Baglan Bay branch, we first need to have the loco coupled to the other end of the train. Please make sure to set the path and haul the train into Britain Ferry Down siding 01. Okay, so what I need to do is go here. Right, where's Britain Ferry siding down 1? It's this one. Right, okay. Which way am I going? Right, where's me? I'm here. Okay, so I need to make sure that I'm in... Is it that one? No. It's not that one. Is it that one? Is it that one then? I think it's that one. We'll see. Let's go. Gromit, get the cheese. Right. Alan Thompson Sim, thank you so much for the follow. How are you? Welcome to the stream. Just trying out one of the free Golden Goldsmith scenarios for the South Wales coastal route. This is the Class 56 scenario that you can get. Right then, so let's see if I get into the right place. I think we're heading into the right place. I always have a habit of getting to these sidings and then never manually setting the points properly. But yeah, Just a Hillbilly, yeah, with the AWS on there, it sounds a little bit like a mouse. So I always give it a bit of cheese. Right, anyway. Right, it looks like we're heading to the right place. According to the HUD anyway. I did think it was a GGS scenario. I'm all good, cheers mate. Yeah, it was. I've just been playing a couple of the scenarios from the pack, because you can download a demo pack, as you probably already know, where you can try out 4 scenarios before buying. So I've been trying out the 56 scenario. There's one with a 158 as well, and also a 66 one, I think, if I remember, and also a short one with a pacer. Actually, it seemed to be a short one, but it didn't end up being a short scenario. That's all I'll really say about that one. But there's a lot of good scripting and stuff in these scenarios. The South Wales, the Riviera line pack is quite a nice one as well. One of my favourites was, as I was saying to chat a bit earlier, was the one with the air show. I won't really say too much about that, because it's otherwise I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but that was quite a nice scenario with the air show. Right, so we're just heading into the yard now, and then I have to do a bit of manoeuvring, which I always mess up. As some of my viewers know, I'm always good at negotiating my way around sidings. Awesome. I haven't done any new packs yet. Yeah, the Riviera line's been around for a little while, isn't it? But this is like the newest pack that they brought out. But this only works for the currently only works for the South Wales coastal, Bristol to Swansea. If you've literally just got hold of the new route, which I think is now called the South Wales Main Line, then obviously though this scenario pack doesn't work with that. But I'm guessing that both came out about the same time, so I'm guessing maybe Golden Goldsmith will go back and obviously do the pack so it's compatible with that as well. Not really sure. Right, anyway, so I've got a guessing that we'll have to unhook myself from here. You're now doing a Corris Railway scenario, by the way. Yeah, that's right, the Corris route. Yeah, a lot of routes use that. The Corris, there's quite a nice. I think the narrow gauge, is it the North Wales narrow gauge? I can't remember the name of the railway now, but it's the one in Wales that uses a lot of assets from that. Good. Uncouple the loco and pull forward to Britain Ferry siding shunt marker. He does a lot of scripting and stuff in these scenarios. We can always tell. Right, so let's pretend that we're in Train Sim World, kind of. Do a bit of sounds like I'm eating a packet of crisps as we go and uncouple the train. Oh, I can hear a pacer. Is that a pacer or is that a 150? No, it's a 150. It wouldn't be a pacer, would it? Dear me, CK, you're terrible. Right, so now I have to go to the shunt marker. Again, I have to pay attention here because I always mess this up. Right, let's do this. Make sure that's all highlighted in sort of like purple colour. Right, I think we're ready to go. Let's head to the shunt marker then. Yeah, Corris is a nice fruit. It's also nice because it obviously had some decent narrow gauge assets that then could be used in other freeware routes out there and stuff. So it's cool that it was created in the first place. Right, so let's go to the shunt marker. This is it's quite a long scenario, this one. This is a 2-hour long one, although that's 2 hours is the minimum time. Obviously, if I'm doing the scenario, it ends up being 2.5 hours. Okay, let's go and stop up here. I think we have to stop on this marker, don't we? More or less, although I'm going a little bit past it. Although that isn't new, I've always been past it. Workman, change direction and head through Britain Ferry down through siding, stopping at the Baglam Bay branch down through siding. Right, I might have to write that one down. Remember to manually set the path as needed. Okay. Right, so we're just going to turn the gas ovens on. Always like these lights, always make me think of a gas oven. Right. Let's turn the instrument lights off and then we'll go down the other end. And then I've got to work out where to go from here. Right, let's have a look. Let's change the lights. There we go. Right, so we have to go... Is it through the downsiding? That's the one. So we have to go down here. That one? No, that one. I always mess this up. Right, then we go down this one. I think that's it, isn't it? Yeah, I think that's it. Right, well, let's fingers crossed. I'll do an F2 and save just in case the worst happens. And then we'll go. Right, here we go. Let's off we go then. Off we go. Right then. Let's head off. That's Britain Ferry Station there. Okay. You may use tab or control plus tab to pass the signals needed to complete the run around procedure. It's very clever, I like that. Some nice little scripting on there. You know, I mean, as I said earlier, it goes to sort of show, you know, that obviously this isn't just somebody that's just made up 20 scenarios and it's just sell them in the pack. You can sort of like, you can kind of see that there's been a lot of extra effort involved in doing the scenarios rather than just, you know, oh, let's just make 24 scenarios and we'll make everyone pay for them. You can sort of see they're, you know, they're kind of up a step compared to like other scenarios with all the scripting and stuff that goes into it and all the placing around assets. Not saying that there's some freeware people that do the same as well. There are some really cool freeware people out there that do scenarios as well with bits and pieces in. But that's what you have to do. You can't just knock out, you can't just knock out cheapy scenarios and then expect people to pay for them. You kind of like, if you're going to do payware scenarios, you've got to kind of like, you kind of got to go up, do the extra mile and all that stuff. Well, that's how I feel, in my opinion, anyway. That's how I feel about it. Because otherwise people will just feel whipped off, because they'll just think, well, I could have just, I can download lots of free scenarios. What are you offering me that makes me want to buy your scenarios? Which is nice that they've actually done some scenarios that you can try out first, so you can kind of decide, do I want to pay $5.99 for these scenarios, for 20 scenarios plus the 4, so 24 scenarios altogether, or do I just want to, so it's good. Right, then I think we're just going to stop up here. Although the only thing I'll say about this scenario pack is that because it's there's a lot of elements to it, like the rolling stock is all based on very accurate sort of like consists and all that sort of stuff. There is a lot of payware that you need to get. It's a bit like when you buy an AP product. There's always a list of requirements to run a scenario, where you need a lot of stuff to run it. So it's very much the same on here. You do need a lot of payware to play the scenarios. Which is another reason why I like to stream the scenarios sometimes, because I know there's a lot of people that don't have all the packs, so at least they kind of get a glimpse of what it's like to have the packs. Info, recommended save point. Okay, I've saved it already. Change directions again and couple this end. Okay, right. It's the same reason we ask people to have a certain amount of freeware scenarios before having a payware pack. Yeah, I agree, Alan. Because it just gives people a taster, and and the interesting thing about this scenario, this is I think this is a part 1 scenario, so then obviously there's other elements to it, but obviously if you want to play the other parts, but for me, $5.99 for 20 scenarios, especially when they seem to be very good quality, is worth it in my book anyway. As I said, I've played some of the other scenarios that he's done for different packs, like the Riviera line one, and some of the stuff that they do for the scripting and stuff is pretty cool. Right, so where was I going from here? So we were just going to go back and couple up to that train. So I need to... I think we're on the right one. No, we're not. Okay, right, that one. Or maybe I was on the right one, but I've just changed it. God, I hate these scenarios like this. Right then, are we on the right track? No, we're still not on the right track, CK, you numpty. Right, there you go. I think we're there now. Better get my glasses on. Yeah, I've no issues. No. I mean, back in the day when I first started playing Train Simulator, the only, there was like, the first scenario packs I ever got were the early AP ones for the, the East Coast Main Line, Great Western Main Line. And what I loved about the early AP sound packs is that they offered a little, they offered the stuff with deliveries and the reskins, which is also what this pack does, because obviously you have to download another file which contains a lot of reskins and stuff for certain things if you don't have them installed already. Or any assets that they're using for, for some of the scenarios, I guess. So the AP packs are great, like when I first got those, because, like as I said, there was all the different reskins you got for First Great Western and all the trains and stuff. You got the liveries for the 66 freight ones and all that sort of stuff. So it wasn't just a scenario, it was like a whole different thing entirely, because you'd have like new reskins and new stuff in the game. Whereas before, scenarios would literally just be like, you'd download a scenario and you'd have a scenario, and the scenario would just work with default Kuju assets with the reskins that come with the roots. Whereas AP obviously then offered, like with their scenario packs, you then got the little extra stock packs with them, and then you suddenly find that your whole environment would start having things like Virgin Cross Country reskins and things for the HSTs, and you'd be like, wow, this is cool. I'll go to Reading and there's a Virgin Cross Country train there and stuff. Yeah, we have quite a few reskins included in the WTT packs. Quite a few have been completely custom. Yeah, exactly. The scenic items and that. I like people that sometimes knock up scenarios where it's not just an A to B scenario. They've kind of thought about the scenario and they've done a lot of stuff in the background. For example, if you've got a dodgy signal, there's like one guy that does scenarios that I know of that, if the signal's playing up in the scenario editor, what he'll do is he'll stick some workmen by the signal, so you kind of get the impression that the signal is faulty. So it's not just a case of like you get into a signal and going, oh, I don't think this signal works, let's just press tab to see if this scenario, this signal works, and then it will be like, oh yeah, there's a workman here, obviously the signal must be faulty, and also they'll sometimes obviously tell you in a notice that the signal's faulty. It's just little bits like that really, or just things like random stuff around, maybe there's been a traffic jam on the roads next to I've seen scenarios where a fishing trawler was sunk in the river and stuff, and little bits like that, and police cars on a bridge, and just little bits and pieces. Right, let's couple up to this if I can. Why can't I couple up? Oh, there we go. There we go. But yeah, this is quite a nice little scenario so far. Good job. Now you just need to change direction, but hold the train here until the guys at Baglan Bay are ready to receive you. We'll let you know when they've given us the word. Okie dokie. Let's turn this off. Let's just go down the other end. Let's watch the 158 go past. Yeah, it's the whole package that I like. Yep, almost to 2 hours. I've got someone in chat keeping time for me. I said this was a 2 hour scenario, so they're seeing if I can get to 2 hours, but we're doing alright actually this time. We're doing alright. I did play this off stream yesterday, I think it was, and I completely messed it up in the sidings. I went down the wrong way, and then yeah. It's been EXE, sorry, didn't mean to put that. No worries, dude. I really just love some run-of-the-mill A to B, no fuss, but it's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm a bit like that, Alan, to be honest. I like some scenarios where you're just sort of like just driving along a route, and then you get other ones where, you have to do like lots of other stuff. Like you get somewhere and then you gotta like maybe divide a train up into different bits or whatever. It just depends really. Now I can't remember if I've got to wait here now. Hang on. As I said, I wasn't really paying attention to what that was written. I was a little bit. I heard something about we had to wait, but I don't know if that means that I'm supposed to drive down to the end or not. I'm guessing that we can do, but we'll soon find out. Oh no, here we go. I'm supposed to wait. See, that's it. Patience does have its virtues, CK. It was a bit like that with like some of the routes, for London to Brighton. Also like routes, also like scenarios that take you off little parts of a route that you don't often see. So, for example, with London to Brighton, you have the little line that goes off at Ardingly. So you get to Haywards Heath and there's that little line that goes off, and you don't really go down that in some scenario, you know, much, because obviously it says London to Brighton is about, you know, going from London to Brighton, or from Gatwick to Brighton, or, you know, Gatwick to Victoria, or vice versa. You know, it's just based on passenger routes. So it's always nice to play like little scenarios where you actually have to take a freight train to Ardenley, or there's like one in an AP pack. I think it was the Buffer Puffer scenario packs where you had to drive the 37 to Haywards Heath and then reverse it into Ardenley, or not reverse it, but yeah, I think it might have been reversing it, something like that. So you get to see little bits of the roof. Riviera line's another bit when you get to Newton Abbot, and there's that little line that goes off to the left, the little branch line that goes off, that goes down like this little track for a while, you know, and there's a couple of scenarios that do that as well. So right, so those sort of scenarios I like as well, where you kind of go off the beaten track, so to speak. Right, so we need to go to Chemical Siding 05B. So let's just make sure we're going to go to Chemical Siding track IB. Oh no, we don't want to go that way, CK. You'll go to dead end. That'll be not very good. Right, let's see. I'm guessing it's going to take us all the way there then. I really shouldn't be driving the train and driving at the same time. Oh, I think it's routing us there. Maybe. Yeah, I think we're going the right way already. That's cool. But that's what I like as well, you know, just scenarios where, you know, it's just a little bit different. Right, PT843. It's a good job I actually didn't go down that line though. Although I think I would have realised when I went round the bend and saw the buffer at the other end that I was down the wrong way. Right, let's go down to the front. I've been alive for, yeah, someone's obviously someone's obviously keeping their eye on me. I feel like I'm up against the clock here. I know it's you, I can tell it's you. You're guilty. My CCTV cameras can spot you typing it in chat. Baglam Bay. Yeah, but like I said, don't forget what I said to you. I started my stream, and then it was at least 5 minutes before I started the scenario. So, you know, you can't just assume that it's 2 hours from when it says 2 hours on the uptime, you know. You've got to add another 5 minutes on. Right, anyway. Just making our way down this siding. Quite a long way actually, 15 miles an hour at 7, yeah. We got about, what, quite a way to go yet. So might as well just have a look outside as I just find myself in some trees. Right, so we'll just go and might as well just go to the overhead viewer for a bit. Oh dear, sorry about that. It's all those fumes from the train, you know. Anyone that's just come in chat, don't worry, I haven't got a cough or anything. It's just that train. So it's one of those moments I'm glad I don't have a webcam, because if I had a webcam I'd have to put a dry ice machine installed and have smoke behind me or something just to make it look better. That's what she said. Right. But it's all this other stuff I like about this route, you know, all the rubbish and that everywhere. You know, the cardboard boxes and stuff. I mean, this box asset could come in handy, for example, if you want to do a scenario and you have like a DHL van asset or something, and then you could have a little guy, and then you could have it looking like he's carrying a box or something, you know, to somebody's house. You know, if you're going on a scenario where you're going past a street and you could kind of have a random thing as a guy delivering a parcel or something. You know, there's so many little assets and things that are splattered around everywhere that you could use for things. As I said, shame I just don't have the patience to do scenarios, because I would just sort of like have a lot of little things like that, you know, just like someone delivering a parcel, or yeah, the milk float delivering, you know, with some milk bottles or whatever. Right, and it looks like there's a lot of people here waiting for us. So as I said, you know, some scenarios you just get told, "Oh, take this this freight wagon to this side," and then you just drive to the side, and that's the end. But you know, with these, you know, it's like everything's all been placed down to sort of like give you the impression there's logs everywhere ready to be loaded. So it all gives you the impression that obviously your train is going to be loaded with logs shortly, you know. The only thing about this is I'm just wondering if it should have gone down the other side, because we go down this one here, but I'm wondering if we should have gone down the one on the left, because there's more logs than that down there. But I'm on the right one. I've checked. Definitely am on the right one here. But I think I should have stopped a bit earlier. I was too busy admiring the work on the side there. You just finished your scenario. I can't believe you even played a scenario while you were watching me. That's terrible behaviour. I should time you out for such disobedience there. Nah. But I'm wondering if, you know, we should have come down here, because that would make more sense to me with all these wagons along here. But the scenario wants you to come into here. But I might have kind of gone a bit further down. But yeah, you know, there's all the trucks all unloading and stuff, and you've got a bit of a Euro truck convoy going on in the background behind. It's all pretty cool stuff. Right, nice one, driver. We can get on with loading logs onto the wagons now. I think you and your loco are to head back to Canton Sidings now for the night. You should uncouple the loco, pull forward into Baglam Bay, Chemical Siding 08. Okay. Let's go. Just make sure I'm actually going to the right sidings. We want to go into Chemical Siding 08, which is cool, which is where we're going. The reason why I ended is because it tipped over. Oh, you tipped over. Yeah, that happens sometimes. Oh, hang on. CK, you're supposed to uncouple the train. Duh. Oh dear, right, hang on a minute. Let me just reverse this train back again, because I don't know what effect I'll have on it later. Oh dear, CK, come on. It's like the start of the scenario I messed up, because it said please press tab to go through the signal, so then I didn't press tab to go through the signal. You hit 24.6 miles. Okay. Yeah, it happens, you know. The amount of incidents I've had playing Train Sim in the past. The funniest one I used to have was when you always used to sometimes couple up to a wagon, and if you coupled up to them, sometimes the wagons would jump up in the air and explode. Right, let's just go back a bit. Ah, dear. Well, that's it now, everybody. I'm going to have to redo the scenario from scratch. No, I'm just kidding. It's just a good job I'm not I'm recording for a video or something, because then you'd have to sort of like re-edit the video with you not doing what you were just doing. There we go. Oh, I love them brake sounds. Pretty cool. Right, anyway. Right then. CK uncouple. Right, here we go. Doing my Train Sim World bit. When I can be bothered. Right, here we go. Let's uncouple. There we go. And then we'll get back in the train. Or hover back into the train. And then we'll head off towards where we're supposed to be going. Right, here we go. Well, that probably makes me like about an hour late now. Just kidding. Right. So, up we go. Chemical siding 8. Yeah, but how fast were you supposed to be going around that curve? I mean, was it what sort of speed limit was it? Like a 10-mile-an-hour limit? Because I mean, if it sounds like it was quite an excessive curve. If you fell off it at 25, right? Oh, let's put the actual other brake on. Train brake, CK. The loco brake, whatever. Right then, let's go. Let's stop here. Right, that's that then. Right, and then we'll just turn everything off again. And then we'll turn that off, and then we'll go down the other end. Get ready for going back the opposite direction. Okie dokie. Right, change direction, set your path via siding 4 and head back to Briton Ferry sidings. Okay, so we need to go back via siding 4, which is that one. Oh, click to answer. You may use tab or control plus tab to pass all signals to signal PT843. Okay, hopefully I got that. Let's do that. That looks good. I think we're all going the right way. Stop at signal PT483. Yeah, we're heading the right way. That's cool. Let's get going. Again, I'm just going to post the link to these scenarios. You can also download these scenarios from UKTS, although I recommend you doing it from this site directly. I'm just going to post the link in chat. Unfortunately, when I put the command in, I messed up the fact that there's not a space between the words. So if you want to do it, you have to select the words in chat, hopefully, and with your mouse, and copy and paste, or if you go to Google, typing Goldsmith scenarios, hopefully it will take you to their homepage as well, and then you can download the sampler scenarios from there and give them a go. And if you like them, well, you know, you can always buy the pack, or maybe you've liked his scenarios, other packs he's done, and you don't need to play the demos. You do get 20 scenarios with the pack, and then the 4 demo ones you can download as well. So it's 24 different scenarios. So he hasn't just taken 4 scenarios from the 20. It's like these are 4 additionals. Although, as this is a part 1 of something, you will probably best to get the 4 free ones as well, because otherwise you'll be confused. As in, like, you know, you'll want to be playing the scenarios, and because this is part 1 of maybe 2 scenarios, so you want to play this one first. Because if you just download, I don't know if when you download the EXE for the pay one, it comes with them bundled in. It might already do that anyway. You might find that when you get the full version, you've got the free ones bundled with it as well, or you might have to download it as a separate thing. Anyway, we'll just head into signal PT843. We must be more or less on time though. He's going to check. 2 hours and 10, yeah, see, I'm late now, you see. I'm probably about 5 minutes behind. But anyway, that just gives you an idea before you know, it's quite handy sometimes to see how long a scenario's being, especially if you're streaming, because you might think, well, I want my stream to be an hour long, and you obviously don't want to do a scenario where you don't really know how long it's going to be, and then find it's over an hour. So I mean, with this scenario, obviously it says, you know, that once you've taken this train, you've got to go empty all the way back to Canton, which is in Cardiff. So I'm guessing that part 2 of this scenario will be that journey, because obviously we're not going back to Canton now, because, you know, we're at 2 hours into the scenario already. So there's no way that, you know, I'd have to go all the way back to Cardiff, because that would add another half an hour onto the scenario. So I'm guessing, you know, that will be in a part 2. But obviously, to get part 2, you'll have to get the pack, you know. So, but as I said, you know, it's a nice pack. I like it. So, but as I said, you know, it's good that they give you a chance to sample some, so then you can decide whether you like it or not. So I think I've got a control tab here. Yeah. There we go, just going past the signal. That's because it's a red, but you just, as it says, you have to just control tab through some signals. It's just part of the train sim signalling. That we have all come to learn and love and hate over the years. Doing the odd. Here we go, we've got to wait here. Good work. Signal controllers and forwarders of a slot they can path you into, so you can run light engine back to Canton Depot at about 10:27. Oh, there you go, at 10:27. Well, as you can see, I'm already 3 minutes late because it's now 10:30. So yeah, bad luck. You did not complete the scenario successfully. Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Probably because of my timings. You can now run it light back, which is in part 2. As for now, thank you for your work. And I'd like to say thank you all for watching the stream. Hope you enjoyed the scenario. Luckily, I've already got a tick for this one because I played this one yesterday and managed to complete everything. So, they also, with this pack of 4 scenarios, you also do get one with a class 143, and then a class 158 scenario here, which is a 75-minute one, and then also a one with a class 66, which is this one here, which is a 40-minute one. This one here. So you can try all those scenarios out for free. You can just download the demo from the website, and then if you like the scenarios, you can just buy the pack, which I think is for $5.99. 14 minutes late. Okay, hello, welcome. Well, I wasn't 14 minutes late really, but probably about 5 or something. Anyway, I'm not going to argue, because as people know that have watched me for a long time, I'm never on time. And if I am, then obviously the scenario must have been faulty, because normally there's no way that I could be early for anything. Thank you, AK. Unfortunately, I'm just ending the stream, and I hope you've had a good day, my friend. I hope you're all well. I'm now going to be heading off. I like to, as I said, I'm going to go and raid somebody now, so I'm going to go and see who I can raid.